Welcome back. Last year, this time, you know what was the date? It was 23rd of December. And this year again, it's 23rd of December. And last year, on this day, I decided not to use Facebook for during the vacation times. That's till the 30th, that is. I thought I'm going to be busy doing one or the other things. So that's the reason. I just read that in the memory today. But this year there's a difference. I'm going to show up whenever I get time. Last year I had some other updating that I was doing on the Facebook, which I no longer do. Now I just share some random things there, and I usually share this video as well, thoughts video. It's a great exercise for your mind. There are some things which we have to do every day to keep ourselves in a level. If we don't do those things, I think it's for mind stimulation that we do some things. Some people understand what I'm trying to say. Some people don't. Today I read some interesting things like about the mind habits of successful people. When I read the word successful, I'm like, when am I going to reach that level? I'm not yet reached that level. That kind of feeling comes to me. But then when I read through the habits as such, I feel that they all I can recognize with all those points which are mentioned there. So definitely because of that, I believe the days are coming closer than before to be successful. Successful, the definition of success for each person is different. I have always said that the definition of success is to do your best and to keep improving in what you're doing. That's the definition for me. And it's not as such, as we say, it is not about destination, it's about the traveling that happens. We anticipate to be somewhere, and then we just prepare for that. A lot of planning goes in that phase of traveling, and then once you reach the destination, it's okay that you are enjoying that part as well, but then later comes the next planning, isn't it? So it's like that in life also. Success is, for me, it's not about achieving something or attaining anything. It's about how am I improving every day? What am I doing? And that kind of feeling all the time, it occurs to me. I don't know why. I've thought many times that I should be, it might be some kind of weakness. It's a flaw probably in me, but it is not. It is because I just want to keep growing. It's a inquisitiveness, probably. It's a curiosity, you can say. It's an urge to be something more than who you are all the time. It's like you have potential and you want to take it out. You want to express it. You have not utilized it to the maximum. So whatever your potential be. The other day I was talking with my sister-in-law over phone, and the discussion somehow it just went to being a housewife. So people, when women usually talk, especially women who are not employed, when they talk, I don't know if people who are employed as well talk about this, but we tend to have a habit of comparing one family with another, which is absolutely wrong, I would say. I always say don't compare one family with another. Let them do whatever is comfortable for them. You do whatever is comfortable for you. So that day when we were talking, the topic somehow it just went to being a housewife, and some housewives are good in house management. Like when you're a homemaker, there's a lot of work that goes inside the house, and some people are really good at that. Some people are good in working outside. They just cannot be confined within the house. They want to work. Some of them work like, now it's like work at home as well after COVID. But some women are good in balancing the work life and the family life. So we just spoke about that, and she said it's all about priorities. You know, I said it's not just about priorities. You know, it's about priorities as well as your abilities. Some people are able as homemakers, but if you put another female in that position whose abilities are different from that is required to be a homemaker, she's going to drown there, isn't it? So it's not just about priorities, it's about priorities and abilities. So if a woman is good in dance and she would like to pursue that as a passion and she's engaged in that, it is because it's not just about priorities. Anybody cannot be a dancer. You need abilities. So when you're prioritizing, you need to watch on abilities as well. So when it comes to housewife, when it comes to women choosing a profession, when it comes to why am I just talking about women? It applies to everybody, both genders. But the thing is that even today, when it comes to men and women, we have segregated them according to what they are supposed to be doing. In the sense, men can go out, men can work, men can earn, while women can. Women will have to talk about it like this if you're going to work outside, and the question of prioritizing and all these comes only with when it is about women. When it is about men, usually it doesn't appear. It's taken for granted. In the sense, it's taken like they are men, they can do it. Women cannot do it. It's like that. So that's the reason I'm talking. Otherwise, this applies to both. If a man is good in doing something, that means it is his ability. You need to recognize your ability and then prioritize. If you prioritize your schedules without giving any value to your abilities, just because somebody else have been doing like that, just because your ancestors have been doing like that, it's not going to work out at all for you. So it's about priorities and abilities. What are your abilities? And know your abilities and prioritize your daily schedule or your life in a way so that you get to do more of what you are able. You know, what is your ability? What are you good in doing? You need to know that. If you end up doing something and prioritizing your life because somebody else is doing it in a way, then you're doing a big mistake. You will not be able to do that. So that's the reason. So that's one thing. That's the reason I say don't compare one family with another. We are all different. We do things which is comfortable for us because we set different priorities. We have different abilities. That's it. Both of it. When you evaluate or when you equate, I can use the word using these two attributes like not just priorities but also your abilities, you will realize that everybody are doing differently. Everybody have set their routines differently because their abilities are different from yours. You are able in one area, they are not able in that area, they are able in a different area. So they have set the priorities like that. That's it. Don't compare yourself with anybody. It's not required unless it is good, unless it is something that inspires you. If it inspires you, then it is good. Someday I'm just going to come and sit here and not give any lectures. Yeah, like yesterday. Yesterday I never gave any lectures. It was all about the sunlight. It's still here. Sunlight is here. It was about sunlight and the change of shade, right? I can take you there. I'm so excited about it. I like getting some sunlight. But let me just finish this. Towards the end, I promise to take you there. I like the video which I made yesterday. I watched it. It was nice. Sometimes I watch it, sometimes I don't watch it. I don't watch it mostly. Okay, so today I have to go answer one question which I made a note of it in. I got it through YouTube. It's from motivational speaker and whatnot. I don't know what not he is. His name is Mr. Ron Malhotra, and I really like watching his videos. It's a lot like Mind Valley, though it's slightly different, but he's pretty good in that. Pretty good in the sense about the I use the word remarkable. So you can watch some of his videos. In fact, it's like a master class. I think you have to take an appointment and go for it. Okay, so I there was a question that he had put through YouTube for the audience, and it was like, what would you say to the younger you about life? That's a question which we have come across many times. I think I have even answered that once in one of the videos. What would you say to the younger version of you about life? If you were to meet yourself, the younger version, in the sense probably the one in 20s, probably the one in their when they were a child, when you were a child, what are you going to say to the younger version of you about life? Now that you have seen more, when you know better, you do better. There's a saying like that, isn't it? The saying is, I did what I could when I knew what I knew, but then I started knowing more and I did better. That's it. That's simple as that. You did a lot of mistakes, and you screwed up your life, and you have come to this age. Now when I look back, I just think that I was so naive, I was so immature at that time, and when I look at the scale, I can see that it's always been maturing, in the sense that I've been maturing with years, and I know when I knew better, I did better. That's it. And the scale is good actually. It goes like this. It's never been a parallel, or it's never been going down. It's always been up. So that means there is growth. I've been maturing, and it's very important that we mature in life, because maturity doesn't have anything much to do with age. It doesn't have. It's all about many other things. And what helps is reflecting helps a lot. In fact, reflecting in the sense taking pause and taking things slow, sometimes it helps. Even when I make this talk video, you won't believe it, many times I've just tried to take it slow, like I'm doing today. I've done this before also. Sometimes I just speak on and on and on, and I'm too fast, and what happens is that your thought processing and the way you speak, it also happens when you're writing, when you're texting. I was so fast in texting a few years back, you won't believe. People used to ask me whether I'm using a virtual keyboard, because I was too fast in texting. Because that's two things. One thing is I basically like thinking fast. Another thing is that I was good in typing, and my eyesight was good as well. When that changed, a lot of my texting speed is gone, and now my texting speed is average. It used to be above average a few years back. Now it's average. So even now I have the difficulty, because I think very fast. So when I think very fast, sometimes what happens is that when I'm texting or typing, the pace doesn't go with that. I'm not able to type at the pace I'm thinking. So the thoughts are coming fast, and my texting speed is not keeping up with the thinking speed. So I realized it from last 2 years, from the time I had my I went to the higher power. So I had this difficulty to type. I could not do it as I was doing before, and my thinking is still very fast, so it is not able to keep up with the speed of my thinking. And the same thing could happen with your speaking as well. Check out your thinking speed. When I say you are reflecting on your life and basically thoughts, it helps a lot to in maturing. What I'm trying to say is pause, take things slow. So when I say take things slow, as I said, when I make this video, many times I've observed that when I speak slow, it's much better. Because I don't know why, because I'm so I'm more clear with things. That actually the fact is that we are trying to control the speed of our thinking, the way our thoughts are coming. We are trying to blend them and go with the speaking speed, I guess, the speed at which we speak and the speed at which we think. We are just trying to bring them together, align them so that they go together. Does it happen with you? It happens with me most of the time. When I speak slow, take pause, and those conversations are very, very meaningful. I like that. Rather than just going blah 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 blah, they are so useless. When you think and when you reflect, that is how you mature in life. So maturity doesn't have much to do with your age. It has a lot about developing your insight and how you reflect. When you reflect a lot, many things are clarified. When you reflect, in fact, you get a lot of doubts as well, a lot of questions as well. But along with the questions, you are able to clarify a lot of things. So that's one thing which I totally enjoy, having conversations where you have enough pause. I've had some conversations with people which I will never forget because we had the chemistry between us, because the other person as well, he knew the value of having to pause. Because conversation is not always about talking. It's about taking a pause. It's about knowing that the other person has to say something as well, and it's also about knowing that conversations doesn't have to always be filled with words. It's not necessary that you be speaking all the time. You can have pauses, you can have the gaps between when you don't have words. It's because you are kind of reflecting at those moments. I've had such small conversations which was so meaningful because both of us knew the value of taking pause. Anyway, all the time you don't have to talk. You can take a pause because it's so meaningful. It also means that you care, you genuinely care about the other person or that conversation as such. So that is one way of maturing. When you have that kind of conversations, you mature. You must have one or more people in your circle with whom you can have such conversations on a daily basis, or at least once in a while, once in a week probably, so that you can enjoy the conversation as well as take advantage of it, because you need to pause. It's not about talking. Like yesterday, let me tell you this. I watched, I read about eating outside. In fact, I read about the restaurants that are in India. Those are those which were opened in pre-independence times. That means before 1947, these restaurants have been in place, and they are still ticking, in the sense they are still crowded and people like the food they serve. So imagine it's about 75 plus years now those restaurants have been working. And I read through that, and while reading that, I was just saying that dining out doesn't have to be just about food. When you say we're going to have food outside, is it just about food? I don't think so. It's not just about food. It's a lot more things that matter when you say you're going to have food outside. So dining outside is not about food. It's about, if you are lovers, if you are partners, if you are dating, it's about many other things. And if you're friends as well, it's about many other things. If you are just strangers and you want to have a conversation, you don't have a platform where you can sit together and you decide to go for a coffee together, it's not about the coffee. It's more about getting to know each other or spending the time. It's about a lot other factors. It's not just about having food. When you say you're going out for food, people usually say, why do you want to have food outside? Have home cooked food. But it's not just about food. There are so many other things which we are deprived of, and these days you have takeaway, home delivery, and we opt for that. So that those factors are missing because you don't go outside for food. It's totally different. So the same thing I would apply to conversations. When we talk, conversations are not just about filling the gap between people with words. It's not just about words. It doesn't mean that when you are having a conversation you have to be talking like what I'm doing now. You don't have to. You can take pause. You can take it slow. The conversations that you have with pauses are the best. You will remember it forever, and you will learn something from it. I basically like to have conversations where I get to learn something. Having spoken so much, it takes a lot of energy to speak. Do you think it's easy? Do you think it just comes naturally and you are not exhausted after it? Of course you are. I've done it. I remember having taken a communication class for someone. That's the only communication class I ever taken. It's the first time I did it. And and at those times it was like 1 hour we would sit together, and I had a format of how I was going to do it, and in that 1 hour we would just speak, and it's not about me speaking. So what I did is 25 minutes I'm going to speak, and the rest of it she will do it, and there was a slot like how you're going to distribute the timings. Okay. And when I did that, you won't believe, after 25 minutes I was going dry and I was exhausted. And after that 1 hour of communication classes which we were having together, when I come back, I knew I was in a good mood because it was pretty stimulating, but at the same time I was exhausted. I didn't have any energy to talk anything after that for a long time. So talking is exhausting because it takes energy. It takes your mouth can go dry, your heartbeat can race, and so many things. It's exhausting. It takes energy. It doesn't come for free. All right. So that's the reason I'm saying. So the best conversations that you can have, which is healthy and memorable, and you can learn something. So when you know that conversations doesn't come for free, why would you want to talk to someone? To get things done? Of course there are so many reasons why we want to talk to people, but let me tell you, it doesn't come free. You are exhausting yourself, you are using up your energy. What does it mean to you? It means that you have to be choosy about the kind of conversations you have. You have to be choosy. You need to get something out of it when you have conversations. You want me to talk to you like advocates. They don't entertain people at all. They don't entertain people for free. They will observe. They'll give you the least time the first time, because they want to make sure that it is not going for free unless it is a service that they are doing. Why would you do it for free? You want to get out something out of it, right? So when you're having conversations, you want to get something out of it, and what you can get is, like they say, a woman, I'll not share the quote today, let me just make sure what it is like and then share. She'll put a little of sweet in everything she say, but she will make sure that she takes some salt from you as you have a conversation. I'm like that. When I have a conversation, I want to know what I am going to get out of it. What are the points that I can learn from? What is the input, in the sense the output and the input? I'm giving something, what am I getting back from that? That question comes to my head, because it doesn't come for free. So that's the reason I'm telling, have at least one person in your circle with whom you can have such conversations which are meaningful, and where you can pause, and where it's comfortable, and it's a part of having a good conversation. You can pause and still know that you are still hooked with each other in the conversation. It doesn't have to end there just because you have a pause. Okay, so that's about it. Okay, so where did we start? We started today with the Facebook. I said that I'm going to take, I had taken off last year at these times from 23rd till 30th, but this time it's different. This time, because I make this thoughts video, it's different. I'm going to show up whenever I get time, but I wish everybody a happy holidays, because it starts from today. Most of the schools are closed, and it's actually vacation holiday time. So whatever you are doing, make sure that you stay healthy and you get to learn something as well, because we all want to make sure, we all want to get better than who we were yesterday. That's the aim of life. That's a part of your life. We say that we want to live. I keep saying I want to live. I've not started my life at all, and I'm already 46. I don't know when I'm going to start, and I'm for sure I'm going to start it in 2023. All right, there's nothing wrong about it. We all want to live, but let me tell you, the purpose of living is to grow, to evolve, to be better than who we were. Keep learning. I'll show up tomorrow. Okay.